Hey everyone, this is Mr. Wu here, and this is my second to last ever Runescape vlog, at least in the foreseeable future. This vlog is not going to be about skills or anything else, no distractions whatsoever. That's why I've turned off all of the chats. This is purely going to be about what I'm going to call my Runescape history. This video is not going to be, instructional. Probably not going to learn too much from it. But it might be, a bit entertaining or funny. It depends if you're interested in how I first started the game. My membership is run out. Officially don't play RuneScape anymore, but I wanted to do this video anyways, because I thought it would be interesting. Since you guys probably don't know a lot about how I started the game and all that. So this has been recorded live, but you can almost ignore the video, to be honest. So right, anyways, I started in, well, I'm not exactly sure because I can't remember now, but I believe it was 2005, possibly 2004, perhaps on that, on the border between 2 years, well, can't really be between years, but the end of one and the start of another. I was actually introduced to it by a friend who played before me, who no longer plays now. And I didn't really know what it was about. I watched him play it, and I remember visiting his house and watching him play it, and it kind of got me interested into games such as these. The very beginning of my MMO RPG, games. So I went home, made an account, and I've been playing it ever since then. I remember making the, I remember going through the tutorial island, and I think I died fighting the rats. I remember if you guys have just started RS, you won't know what tutorial island is because they got rid of it. But I think it was a pretty cool place. Introduce you to things quite nicely. And I remember for combat, you used to have to fight rats, and I think I nearly died, or at least I think I did die. And then I remember going the whole process of what's it called, wind rush. I swear it was called something else. Wasn't it called wind strike? Like these are called fire strike, yeah. All right, they've added a new one, wind. I've never seen that before. Wind rush, wind strike used to be the first one, I think. I remember wind striking the I think it was chickens in a cage. I remember it took me 5 minutes to figure out how to work magic and actually attack the damn thing. But yeah, I remember getting through Tutorial Island, being teleported here, Lumbridge Castle, right at this very spot. And then I spent a couple of days wandering around Lumbridge because I didn't really know that there was an area outside of Lumbridge. I didn't go any further than the windmill. Where you do the make the grain, the flour. Sorry, we're using grain. These guys weren't here. Lumbridge Sage wasn't here. All of these starter guys who give you stuff. I don't think even the Doomsayer was here yet. Musicians obviously weren't in the game yet. But all of these starter things didn't give you anything. I think I went into Lumbridge Swamp, got scared, and ran straight back out, seeing the rats. I remember walking out to Alcarud Gate and having to pay to get through it, so I didn't bother ever going through there. I saw the goblins, got scared again, and decided not to go anywhere near that other side of the river. So I literally just hanged around here, cut a few trees, and talked to NPCs all day. But you don't get there wasn't the help like these free pots that you can get here, or I think there must still be in the game. The starter bow stuff. These heralds weren't here, and all of that. I trade the shopkeeper. These free things, none of that was here. You were literally just teleported here and left to your own devices. That was it. No other instructions. Tutorial Island was all your instructions. There was no Lumbridge Sage or anything like that, and that was it. So I hung around here for a couple of days until the friend who got me into it basically came over to Lumbridge, told me to follow him. So I followed him to, I think through Draenor Village. I think it was through the back of, at first anyway, through the back of Lumbridge Castle, and we sort of made our way up to Draenor Village, and then onto Port Sarim. and all those places. He basically just showed me around. Didn't quite get to Rivington, that's a bit out of the way, but bear in mind this is all free to play that I was in. And then we made our way to Falador, and at that moment in time he was mining like mad. That was his thing, and basically he got me into it. He gave me a what was it? Oh, I remember running through here. It used to be so dangerous to run through here because the jail guard is aggressive. I'm pretty sure he still is to lower levels, and he used to attack me, and I think I got killed by him a couple of times on that journey here. But basically I was still, you know, level 3 back then, whatever, level 10 I think is the lowest combat you can be, because it's level 3 combat stats that you start, I think, at least attack and strength and defense. But yeah, he took me to Lumbridge. It's before any of these graphical updates, even before the last set of graphical updates. This is, you know, right at the beginning. I don't think they changed any graphics since then. I don't even think that the old man was in it. Was he always in it? I'm not sure. He definitely didn't have that party hat in it, if he was here. And there was no patched wall, even before the graphical update. That didn't exist. That whole thing of the old man breaking in and killing people for his items and getting rich, you know, break into the bank. That it was before that actually happened. So this is quite a while back. And yeah, he took me to Falador, to the Falador mines, and showed me a few safe areas where you couldn't be attacked by those scorpions because they're aggressive. And I remember mining there for like at least 2 months. All I did was mine, and it kind of got to the point where I didn't want to leave Falador because I was a little bit like, not scared, not quite the same as like when I first started, but nervous. Like, I didn't know what was out there. I still didn't fully understand the mechanics of the game, like if you could be killed outside of cities, or if you, how much stuff you lose, and blah 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 blah, where you respawn if you died wherever. Because I died near Lumbridge, and you spawn outside Lumbridge, that kind of made sense to me. But I wasn't sure if I died in Falador, if I died in wherever where I'd spawn, and all this other stuff. I just, you know, was a total noob at the game. Or not noob, but noob. If you can hear that, NEWB, newbie rather than newbie. Anyway, so yeah, I got on mining to like 40 or 60 or something. You know, I wasn't playing that much, but I was there for like a couple of months. And during that time of staying in Falador, I also had a couple of cousins who were playing RuneScape. Quite, you know, coincidentally at the same time as I had started. I remember them coming around once and playing on my account, and that's actually how I first got my combat stats: attack, strength, and defense. I think they got it to he got it to, all of them were like 11 or 12. I sort of had to do something, and he was still playing on it, and he got my attack, strength, and defense level 11 or 12, and those were my first combat stats. They were done by my cousin. After that, that same friend before came. We were mining together at Falador, and he was more experienced than me. He'd been to Varrock, he knew the game mechanics, and he told me to follow him. He gave me a myth pick, which I just thought was amazing, and black armor, which I thought was even more amazing. And then he said he wanted the myth pick, but he'd give me an addy pick. I don't know why he did that, but I said yes. And then he told me to follow him to Barbarian Village, and told me to train at Barbarians, which is what I did. There was no security stronghold back then, or any of the updates around Barbarian Village. Hill Giants were like the main training thing back then for most levels, until you got high enough to fight lesser demons. No Hellhounds back then, definitely not. That's really quite new for me, Hellhounds in free to play. And then we sort of got up to Varrock, where he told me to start training woodcutting and stuff. And I started going around Varrock because it was the first time I went, you know, to the wilderness. Didn't PK, obviously. I didn't know what I was doing. Got killed a couple of times, but nothing much of a big deal. And then never went back to the wilderness for like a year, because I knew how dangerous it was. But yeah, that's where I got my woodcutting to 60. Went back to Falador, trained on the U's at Falador, and yeah, that's how I got my woodcutting quite high. That's mining was like my first main skill, and then it was woodcutting. And when I got high enough fighting barbarians, I trained at hill giants. I remember doing the quests. I actually quite enjoyed the free quests because they were, easy, you could say. So I remember doing them all. I remember being absolutely scared of doing Vampire Slayer, finding it quite complex, having to use the stake on the vampire. Don't know why I found that difficult. I remember the one south of Varrock where you got to fight the demon. I forgot what it's called. It's got that weird name. You have to use silver light on it. I remember doing that, and then I remember doing Dragon Slayer, but I actually waited for a long time to do Dragon Slayer because I knew that it was quite a difficult, quest. And I actually killed that quite easily. I've been taking strength potions, fishing lobbies for it and all of that, and then eventually buying that rune plate that I so desperately wanted. But yeah, I suppose those were the good old times of RuneScape. When I was like 13, perhaps. I think I quit when I was 14 or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, when I was sort of 12, 13, 14 was when I was playing. When I was really, really, into the game, playing hours and hours on end on the in a single day. But yeah, apart from that, that was sort of my very early RuneScape history. It wasn't until I became level 70 combat that I became member, which was actually quite late back then. Now I'm not sure, but back then most people became member in their like level 50s, and it was sort of peer pressure from my friends that made me do it. I didn't really want to do it because it's all new stuff, so I didn't want to have to learn through all this new stuff and perhaps being killed in some place that I wander into without knowing that there's high level monsters and stuff like that. But I remember becoming member and then having quite a bit of money for a free to play back then, because money was worth more back then. I remember buying a D long Dragon Longsword and DDS Dragon Dagger Special, poison that is obviously, and starting doing some quests and stuff. Did what's that troll one? The first one in Troll Helm, where you got to fight the Troll General. I remember doing that. I remember getting killed, having to run back there to get my stuff. Other quests. Also, this is sort of the period where you were really, really into the game still. You can knock at this door. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. But yeah. That must be some new quest or something. I've never done that before. Anyway, that's distraction. Yeah, I remember first becoming member, doing those quests in the first fairy quest. I remember doing some of the new member skills for the first time. Agility thieving were the first ones that I did, I think. Fletching as well. Didn't do Slayer for a while. Construction wasn't released then. Hunter wasn't released then. Dungeoneering was definitely not released then. Summoning was not released then. I didn't do farming till quite late. I left that quite late. I did a bit of herb lore due to herbs not being quite expensive as they are now. Nowhere near expensive as they are now, actually. And then when I was member, that was the whole period of when I really started to level up. Got fetching really high. Got my woodcutting to 99. Trained combat a bit more. Got the agility to 60. Farming got to 40 or something. Hunter came out, got to 40 or 50 rather. Construction came out, got that to 60. And that's when I really, the whole craze back then was white boots, white gloves, white cape, Legends cape. So I did loads of quests to do Legends quest, and finally saved up enough money to buy Bandos wasn't out there, nowhere near. Barrows. My first set was Varrox, just very happy with. Then I got Guffins, Dragon Hatchet or Dragon Axe as it was called then came out, and yeah, I started basically getting a bit bored I'd done loads of. I literally went from the top of the members quest and did all the ones that had the requirements for, right down to the bottom, like literally A to Z. And then I got really bored, and that was when I quit. And then pretty much not to come back until this year's February 2011. I think I played 1 month when it was the South African World Cup, because I think I broke up from school early or something, and was a bit bored, and you know, I found out things like the 99 capes and God tools and all the new updates. You know, I've been watching Silent Core videos, Nightmare RH, Hippie Rangers, and all that, and then I got back into this game at the end of February, and as you know, as you could say, you know the rest of the story, because that's when I started making the vlogs. So yeah, that is my Runescape history, guys. The next video is about why I've quit, the future of this channel, the future of the clan, what I plan to do next, other messages I might have for you guys, and that will be my last RuneScape vlog. I'm actually going to use some of my, you know, first vlogs as the footage for that. So I guess that's it, guys. This is probably the last live recording of RuneScape that I'm going to do. Please keep up with the channel and watch out for the next video. This has been Mr. Woo here. See you guys later.